Welcome to another episode of the For the Love of Cricket podcast with Jim and Akim. We'll be discussing the game to be played tomorrow between Australia and Pakistan. That's always an exciting encounter. A team that is under resurgence after a horrible start to the World Cup, and generally when they smell blood, they go for the kill. And a Pakistan team that is probably in panic stages at the moment, having lost the last game against India terribly. They also have a number of concerns reformed with their players, and we know they are generally quick to change. What's your thoughts on what we can expect tomorrow?
I expect the game tomorrow to be very exciting. It's a game between two teams that are in very precarious positions. I think that if Australia loses tomorrow, their chances of making top four are basically null and void. That is my view. And if Pakistan loses tomorrow, then they will be at panic stations. We know the history of Pakistan. We know what cricket is like in that country. We know the fanfare that follows it. And we also know of the history that they have. And I'm sure that a lot of Pakistanis will be a bit nervous right now about the form of the team and the form of important players. So it will be an exciting game tomorrow. I expect it to be a bit tense. A lot of players will be on edge, and it should make for good watching.
I think we can start with the bowling lineup of Australia. They started poorly again in the last game. However, middle of the innings was pretty good. Pat Cummins, Adam Zampa taking control of the game. Basically, they get 50 runs for the last 8 wickets against Sri Lanka.
Yeah.
And it was pretty good performance. I said earlier that Australia have 3 new ball bowlers, and they needed a third seamer to come in after the power play and in the middle of the innings and get wickets. Pat Cummins bowled a couple of three-quarter seam deliveries, wall-walls, and got a couple of wickets, as well as he made good use of the bouncer. Adam Zampa showed he had control before this, but it was a containing type of control.
Yeah.
In the last game, he was attacking. He was spinning the ball in both directions from the stumps and at a fuller length. And that is just good signs for Australia coming into this game tomorrow. Your thoughts?
I think Zampa and Cummings were good in the last game. Glenn Maxwell has been fairly good for the last 2 or 3 games. He plays a very important role for them. He's been steady. He's been bowling his 10 overs for less than 50 runs, and he's been picking up two or 3 wickets or so each time. He's picking up key wickets, so he's also an integral part of their bowling attack in the middle overs. When you look at the team, Mitchell Starc is the leader of the attack. He's the leader of the attack in white ball cricket, 50-over cricket especially. And then Josh Hazlewood is now the #1 bowler in the world in ODI cricket. And he has been bowling fairly well in 50-over cricket, and he's been decent in the tournament thus far. Where there are some concerns, I would say the form of Pat Cummins not bowling new ball and bowling in the middle overs, and then Zampa's form. But Zampa had a very good game last time. I believe that he bowled a bit fuller with a bit more variety in pace, and he was more attacking and he was more threatening in the game. So that is how the bowling attack looks now, and you would love to see how they go out against Pakistan lineup tomorrow that is very familiar with these conditions.
Continue with bowling lineups. Pakistan's lineup, I've been saying from the start of the tournament, after the first game, that Shaheen Afridi looks a bit light. Um, you made highlight of a stat that you sent to me this morning. Would you like to expound on it?
Since Shaheen Shah Afridi has returned from injury, he's been averaging 45 with the ball, and that's compared to a career average of about 24. The 45 that he averages with the ball is 45 runs per wicket as opposed to a career average of about 24, 25. So as you can see, he's conceding almost twice as many runs to take wickets, and that is worrying for Pakistan because he is generally the person that leads the attack in 50 over cricket, in white ball cricket, and he generally picks up wickets with the new ball. This stat is with the new ball in the power play, by the way. So it's worrying for them because he's somebody that sets the tone, and they don't want to have teams getting solid starts against them inside the power play when the form of their spinners has been worrying. Shadab Khan's form has been worrying. Nawaz's form has been worrying. And one of them might not play in the game tomorrow. They might ring changes. So it's very concerning for Pakistan, and they'll hope that Shaheen Shah Afridi hits some form.
You made mention of Shadab Khan earlier. You think he makes the team for tomorrow?
I would play him because of what he can contribute to the team with the bat. We know that the Pakistani middle order can be fragile at times, and he is a proven performer with the bat in limited overs cricket especially. So I would play him on the virtue of that. I think Nawaz would probably miss out. They're considering playing Usama Mir, who is a leg spinner, but then it becomes difficult because it's hard to play two leg spinners together. Generally, leg spinners are attacking bowlers, and they don't offer you that much control when it comes to the restriction of runs scored. You'd like to have a partnership of a leg spinner and a finger spinner because the finger spinner has a bit more control and accuracy and can keep the scoring rate down. So it's interesting to see how Pakistan will go tomorrow with the balance of their team.
Batting lineups. Australia. Mitchell Marsh finally found some runs. David Warner, I was still waiting on him to show up. Waiting on Steve Smith to show up as well. Marnus has been scoring, but the strike rate has been terribly. He's striking at about 56.
Yeah, about 56 or 60.
Mind you, he's been in collapses, so I guess he has decided to be a rock at the other end. But when the spinners are on, it's as if he doesn't know where the next single is coming from, not to mention a boundary option. What's your take on the Australian lineup? Batting wise.
The Australian batting lineup, it's concerning. There's somebody else that you should have mentioned, Glenn Maxwell. He hasn't set this tournament alight, but he has a career average of 50 against Pakistan, and he has never been dismissed for single figures against Pakistan. So that is an interesting stat. And when you look at the Australian lineup, Steve Smith is a very important player for them. Generally, he is a prolific scorer, more prolific in Test cricket than 50 over cricket, but he is somebody that they look at to hold the innings together and set the tone because he's such a good player of seam and spin. And in these conditions, he is probably somebody that they would have backed to score and score consistently, along with the likes of David Warner and probably Marnus Labuschagne. So his form is a concern for them. He's gone out LBW 3 times in the tournament thus far. Generally, an area in which he is strong. He's generally strong off his legs. So that is concerning for them. Marnus's batting he's been getting scores, but as you said, it's been at a fairly slow rate. So how he goes tomorrow will be important. He's also a good player. 50 over cricket isn't his strongest format. So that is another thing. But I believe that Glenn Maxwell could be the key for Australia in this game, along with somebody like Josh Inglis, who got a half century in the last game. It was his second game of the tournament. So those two players could be very important players for Australia in this game.
Yeah, it's English and Maxwell will be key against a spinning attack that is not really settled. It's either they're playing a struggling bowler or someone who is unproven. So
yeah,
on top of that, that attack of spinners would be crucial for Australia in the middle of that innings. Onto the finishing, onto the death overs. What do you have to say about Pakistan's batting line?
When you look at Pakistan's batting, Imam Ul Haq has not turned up at this tournament thus far. And they will need Imam Ul Haq to get some runs. He's somebody that averages over 50 in 50 over cricket. He has been getting out to the short ball a lot in 2023 and also in this World Cup. And you know for sure that he's going to be tested with the short ball tomorrow. So his temperament and shot selection will be very important for them. Babar Azam's form is also key. He got a half century in the last game against India, his first score of the tournament, but he got out, I would say, almost uncharacteristically after getting to 50. He played a nothing shot in my estimation, the very next ball. Unlike Babar Azam, and he is somebody that brings so much calm and control to this Pakistan team, because when you watch Pakistan play, sometimes you feel like it gets a lot happens with them quickly. You know, he is somebody that keeps calm in that lineup. So how he plays and the time that he spends at the wicket is very important for Pakistan, and they will need him to have one of his better games tomorrow to win that game and put them in a better position to make the top 4. Rizwan's form in the tournament has been good, but after Rizwan, Saad Shakil and probably Shadab, if he plays, or Nawaz, their form hasn't been great and they're important players for the batting lineup.
Yeah, Rizwan is key. And if the openers can get through the power play, and then Rizwan and Babar get together, and if they get past 20 overs together, Pakistan should be able to post a good total. I think if Pakistan can get 300, if they bat first, then they can give Australia some trouble. We saw in earlier games Hassan Ali getting the ball to reverse swing. So it could be tricky. Having said that, having given your take, who do you think will win?
This one is very hard to call. This is a tough call.
The best or the worst?
Yeah, that is what I'm thinking. That is what I'm thinking. Australia isn't in good form, and personally, I don't fancy Australia to make it to the top 4. But they're a class team. They're a team that have won the World Cup on so many occasions, and they know how to get through the rounds and get through to the important games. I don't see them winning this tournament or getting to the top 4 because for me, the batting is too much of a concern. I don't think they have the batting to consistently score 280 runs or more in this tournament to challenge the bigger teams. And we've seen it thus far in the World Cup where they have struggled to get to 200 twice. They got below 200 and barely 200 in one of the games. So that is my opinion. Pakistan, on the other hand, they're an exciting team, but you don't know which version of them you'll get on the match day. And that is always a question with them. So if I were to pick somebody tomorrow, I would pick Pakistan.
Same here. Anything else you'd like to add?
No, that is all from me.
All right, that's the end of this preview. It should be an exciting watch tomorrow. Can't wait. Thanks for watching.
I can't wait for this one tomorrow. I know there will be some drama for sure. All right, thanks for watching, guys.